Hello everybody, this is Cotoneaster, Shohin tree. I don't even know how long I've had this tree, quite a long time I think. Getting a bit shaggy and needs to be trimmed back into shape. Does a tree good to be allowed to be given its head, so to speak, for a little while. Healthy growth means healthy roots below and vice versa, but you need the top to fuel the roots. This one is flowering a little. I'm getting a few flowers on it. This tree tends to get a little bit confused at times. Maybe it's the way I prune it, I don't know, but I have in other years, and indeed in this year, have flowers and fruit at the same time. And confuser, I think, is the botanical name for a plant that does flower and fruit at the same time. I know that because we just bought earlier this year we bought a Sarcococca confuser, so called because it bears flowers and fruits in the same season. So confused is a good name. Speaking of names, can anybody see why I call this tree the Voyager? I'm not a Trekkie. I've watched Star Trek over the years and enjoy it, but whenever I look at this particular tree, from the angle I can see on the screen now also, it just reminds me of the starship Voyager. Perhaps I'm alone in that. Let me know in the comments if you can see that, or if you think I'm barking up the wrong tree, so to speak. Anyway, let's talk more trimming. I hear you cry. This is another tree that I kind of missed the repotting boat on. I think somewhere in my adult brain I had a plan to repot this tree this year, and despite lockdown and the staying at home and everything else, I just didn't get around to it. For some reason, don't think it's going to hurt the tree any. It's very vigorous, healthy looking, a good colour green, healthy looking tree, so I think it'll be fine. I'm just taking back these long growths back to a shoot or a pair of leaves, bringing it back to the profile that I like it in, and that's all I'm doing really. Nothing, just a little bit of maintenance pruning, very soothing, very relaxing on a calm, tranquil morning like this morning. There's no traffic around at the moment, or none that I can particularly hear. We are set back from the road, or the main road, which is quite nice. There's a long shoot that's escaping the bounds of the silhouette that I'm trying to keep, so I'll take that back to a shoot. This isn't topiary. I've said this so many times, I'm probably boring myself, so apologies if I'm boring you. I'm not just skating over the top, cutting like a bowl haircut. Anybody remember those? They were a real thing once upon a time. Didn't literally mean that you had a bowl over your head and then a haircut around it, but only that you looked like someone had done that. I don't know, maybe some people did, but it wasn't my experience. So they say this tree doesn't flower as prolifically as other Cotoneasters, tomato. Yeah, it doesn't flower as prolifically as other ones that I've got, and it could be the pruning, but I don't particularly prune this one any differently than, say, the Cascade that I worked on the other day. So I don't see why it should be. Maybe it's just genetic trait of this particular tree that it's not a profuse flower. Or perhaps it's just a bit shy. Okay, as you can see here, a lot of shoots that are pushing for freedom, so we'll bring those back. Again, I'm going to prune back to a shoot facing in the direction I want, rather than just cutting off at random. See if we can't bring you in closer so I can show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so taking these two for example, I could just hack it off to a line straight across, but I'm going to cut back to these shoots here, like so. Similarly with this one, this whole branch was coming out in the wrong direction really. Sorry, I'm really trying to get this on camera and struggling. Just here we have a shoot facing upwards and outwards, and so that's where I'm going to snip to. Similarly here, okay, so that's this side of the main crown taken care of. And now for the sort of sub-crown, shall we call it. If you want to follow the Star Trek theme, it's the nacelle. Of course, if you followed the Star Trek theme, even I know that it should have two. So if I understand physics at all, it would probably mean it just went round and round in circles. But there you go. Non-Trekkies would probably say it just went round and round in circles anyway. You'll have noticed that I've been experimenting with some video editing and graphics, and I thought for this like and subscribe portion I'd introduce you to the family rabbit, Alice. I think you'll agree, she's a sweetie. Okay, enough of the livestock. Let's continue on with the trimming. It's actually my daughter's rabbit. She'll probably tell me off for calling it the family rabbit, but while she's living at home, we get to experience the ownership of her rabbit too. Okay, and I haven't had to sacrifice any of the existing flowers, which is nice. In fact, trim that a little piece away. Yeah, you can see that flower even better now. So that's probably it for this tree. I wouldn't call this a finished tree. No bonsai is, ever truly finished, in the sense that you would finish a painting or finish writing a song or anything along those lines. But it's in a form that I want to try and keep. So that's when maintenance pruning comes in, as opposed to the development pruning that I do on other trees. So not hugely different in some ways, but a different process for a different end, as it were. I hope you enjoy. I'm very fond of this tree, and I hope you like it too. So, in these troubled times, please do take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.